Do you feel powerless in your struggle with chronic pain sometimes? In my over 20-year struggle with unmanaged chronic pain, I felt powerless a lot. So stay with me as we talk today about how to move from feeling powerless to feeling more potential. In a recent episode, we talked about moving from feeling like a victim of pain to becoming a self-manager of our life and health. That's a really important change of focus. But there's another piece that has to come next, and that's believing maybe what I do actually matters. Maybe my choices matter. Maybe the small things I practice matter. Maybe I have more influence than I thought. That belief has a name, and it's called self-efficacy. And while that sounds like a very complex word, what it really means is actually simple. It just means believing that you can do something that actually makes a difference. Not fixing everything, not controlling everything, just believing I can actually take steps that matter.
And that belief is huge because when people feel powerless, they often stop trying.
Right.
But it's not because they're lazy, not because they don't care, but because hopelessness is exhausting. And pain can make hope feel very fragile.
Yes. Yeah, Jim, fragile is exactly the word. You know, before I understood any of this, I really didn't believe that I could influence my pain. It felt like pain was making all the decisions. I just reacted. If it was a bad day, I was down. If it was a flare, I was panicking. And if something didn't work that I tried, I felt defeated. You know, it often felt like I was counting on my medical providers to be the only ones with any answers. And I was just hoping that one day they would find the right answer for me. And, you know, underneath all of that was that feeling that anything I did didn't matter. And that's a hard place to live.
Yeah, and I think that feeling of hopelessness, it becomes like a lens. You start viewing everything through it.
Oh, right.
Right? I mean, setbacks, they feel permanent.
Yep.
Effort feels pointless.
Right.
Maybe even those small wins, they feel insignificant.
Yeah.
And when that happens, the motivation, well, that naturally shrinks.
Yes, that's right. And I didn't just suddenly become more confident either. It began by having little moments where I thought, okay, that helped. As I learned a little bit more about how pain works and found strategies to try, I realized that I directed my attention differently and pain lost some of its intensity. Maybe I reframed some of my thoughts and I was less overwhelmed. Sometimes I would pace myself better, and I realized I avoided a flare. And, you know, I gave myself permission to move more at some point there, and I started feeling stronger over time. So it was small things, but it was consistently trying those things, and that's what mattered. And every time I noticed that my confidence in my ability to make a little bit of a difference was growing a little bit at a time.
Yeah, I guess that's how self-efficacy is built.
Right.
Right? It's not through these giant, big, monstrous breakthroughs. It's through repeated experiences of, I did something, and it seems to have made a difference.
Right.
You know, that's powerful.
Yeah, it really is. You know, I also think this is important because sometimes before you actually believe in yourself, you have to borrow belief from someone else. You know that for me, there were times when I needed someone else to believe that change was possible before I could. Remember my physical therapist, Dr. Bradway, he would remind me when I was feeling helpless and hopeless how far I had actually come and that I really was making progress even when I couldn't see it.
Yeah, that's very human, isn't it? I mean, sometimes hope is, you could say, relational.
Okay.
I mean, you might borrow it from a spouse, a coach, a physical therapist, you know, some kind of provider like that, a friend, maybe even a community of people, right? A support group, a family, until your own confidence starts growing.
Yes. And if that's where you are right now, that's okay. Borrow some hope. That still counts. If you don't have anyone to borrow it from, that's okay. Get it from me. I have been in the darkest parts of this pain journey, and I'll lend you some of my hope. I really would welcome your thoughts and questions. Drop a note in the comment section of this video. Go ahead and like and subscribe as well. That tells YouTube that this information is helpful to you and others who could benefit from this. So let's go back and think about our profound baby steps conversation from a few episodes ago.
Ooh, profound baby steps. That's probably one of my favorite terms and maybe my favorite episode.
That's right. Well, we talked about how small wins matter. And actually that small wins are how belief grows. So things like, I handled that flare better this time. Or I noticed my thoughts were spiraling, but I was able to shift them. Maybe I actually asked for some help, which is kind of a big deal. I rested without feeling so much guilt because I knew it was good for me. Or I took a short walk today. Those are all kinds of wins that we have, right?
Yeah, and I think people often dismiss those, right? Because they're looking for dramatic change.
Yeah.
But confidence is usually built quietly.
Yeah. So low self-efficacy often sounds like this. Well, what's the point? Nothing's helping. I can't do this. I always fail. Other people seem like they're improving, but not me. I know those thoughts because I lived those thoughts.
Yeah, and those thoughts, you think about it, they're not character flaws. They're often pain talking.
Yes.
Maybe fear talking, right? Exhaustion talking.
Oh, wow.
But
yes.
not truth.
That's right.
Not truth.
That's right. So how do we actually build self-efficacy? We start by noticing.
That's
okay?
right. Yep. Noticing. That's so important.
Yeah. So what is helping even a little bit? Not what fixes everything. What about what helps 5 or 10%? And here, Jim, we're not just talking about reducing pain, right? We're talking about, is it helping us function better? Is it helping us feel less overwhelmed? Is it giving us more joy? Or does it help us to be more present in our own lives or in the lives of others? It's what softens things, what supports things. And then we repeat those and we notice when they make a difference. And as we talked about, that noticing is important, right? Because it reminds us how our life is impacted by the things that we do.
That's right, because we slowly build confidence, right? And confidence, I guess it encourages helpful action.
Okay, yeah.
And the more things we do that we find are helpful, well, we get to build. They start to build, right? And that is how momentum starts.
Kind of like that snowball we talked about.
That's right. That snowball.
Yeah. I also want to say something to the person listening who feels like, I'm not doing enough. If you're showing up, if you're learning some things, if you're adjusting, if you're trying again after hard days, if you're paying attention to what helps and listening to your body, you're already practicing good self-management. You're already building that self-efficacy, even if it doesn't feel dramatic. So if you take one thing from today, let it be this. You may not control everything about your pain, but you are not powerless in it. What you do matters. Small steps matter and small wins matter. Learning matters. Trying again matters. And over time, those moments are building confidence quietly and steadily, and as Jim likes to say, profoundly.
That's right, because sometimes belief starts simply by saying, maybe I can influence more than I thought. And that, that's enough to begin.
Yes. Borrow hope if you need to. You can take it from me. Take some small steps. Notice small wins. And be gentle with yourself. Your confidence will grow, and that matters. If this conversation helped, we'd love for you to like or subscribe. And next episode, we begin a new series by talking about our identity, how pain may change parts of our lives, but it does not erase who we are. Please share any questions or comments here. And remember, your pain is real, and there is hope, and our goal is to help you have your pain in the rear view.